How you doing, folks? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to tonight's stream. A little bit of a test stream, I'm not going to lie. This could all go horrifically wrong. Horrifically wrong. So the last couple of weeks really have been a bit iffy on the stream, so I want to start by apologising for that. We've had some internet issues here, which is ironic because we've just had like super duper fibre optics to the premises installed, so we've got a fibre cable like straight through the wall of the house, straight into the router, and it's like 900 megabits a second down, 400 up. It's an absolute screamer. But the last couple of weeks we've had some serious reliability issues, such that I haven't been able to stream. In fact, some of you might remember, when was it? A little while ago, probably about a week, 10 days ago. In fact, it was on the day after the Fenix V2 Block 2 came out, and we were going to do a stream up to Edinburgh. We had some people that, you know, are in the community that were flying along with us. We got lined up on the runway, basically where we are now, in fact, and the stream just died. So that was really annoying. On VATSIM as well, to make it worse. But there you go, what can you do? What can you do? So I've had to take it a bit easy on the streams. You might have noticed I've been relying heavily on video content rather than streams, which is a shame because I do enjoy the streams. It's nice to get to chat to you all and just hang out. You know, it's a cool part of what we do here. I've been assured by my ISP that the issues have been resolved. So they say. I don't know whether to believe them. They're of course blaming someone else, saying it's all OpenReach's fault. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. How you doing, Brian? Oh, who else we got? We got Andre. Deadstick, how are we all doing? So, really, this isn't going to be a full flight or a VATSIM or anything like that. We're going to test the waters a little bit, I think. See if we can do a stream without it dropping out. Make sure that the connection is stable. Because it's all well and good the connection being live, but is it stable enough to maintain a stream? That's kind of one of the main things I wanted to test tonight. And also we're going to be multi-streaming to Twitch, and we're also going to be multi-streaming to YouTube vertical. So those of you, I know there's some of you in the chat that I've spoken to before, you're like, you've said things like, oh, you're the guy that does the YouTube shorts, and you kind of discovered the channel that way. Well, YouTube's got a new thing going on now where I can stream a vertical canvas to essentially YouTube shorts. So if you're just like scrolling through shorts, you know, watching those little short videos that kind of rot your brain a little bit, obviously not mine, I'm talking about other people's, you can I could actually appear, like a live stream could appear in there now. So I'm going to give that a go. Again, this could all go wrong. I'm only streaming to YouTube currently, so we're doing a 4K stream to YouTube as we normally do. Well, we normally do 1080p, so now we're doing 4K, so hopefully that is coming through okay. I've got a load of new settings today because, again, before my internet dropped out the other day, the encoder decided to overload itself, and like it was basically like a slideshow, so it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So I kind of figured we'd try out all this stuff, and we'll go live for a little while tonight, maybe like an hour or so, because what with all the hoo-ha, I haven't really had much of a chance to fly the new IAE engines on the Fenix A320, which is what we're in at the moment on the runway. So we're going to use FSiPanel and set us up for some landings at various airports and see if we can just get a bit of a hang of it. I don't know if any of you saw the video I did the other day with the Say Intentions AI ATC. We did use the Fenix AIE engines for that. But yeah, I've definitely felt out of practice. So I figure it's a nice chance to test out all the stream stuff tonight without doing a proper flight, because obviously it'd be really annoying if we were like on VATSIM and things started messing up. So that's the plan. Norwegian AV Geek, what's my graphics card? It is a NVIDIA 4080 Super Founders Edition. So it's a bit of an experiment to see whether it can run the sim, run the stream at 4K to YouTube, run the Twitch stream at 1080p, and also run a stream out to YouTube vertical. So let's start the Twitch stream. says it's connecting now. So that's hopefully hopefully now working. That's looking good. It's saying that it's sending about 6 megabits per second to Twitch, which is what we want, and it's maintaining a decent 25 up to YouTube to do the 4K stream. So the next thing we're going to turn on is the YouTube vertical canvas. God, I really hope this works. Okay, well I've pressed a button, but I don't know if it's doing anything. Or did I press the wrong button? Yeah, I did. I pressed the wrong button. Hang on, let's press this button. Okay, so now allegedly we're streaming to YouTube vertical. Maybe, possibly, who knows. So let's just do some panning around. Seems to be okay. Seems to be okay. I've locked the sim to 30 FPS just because I figured of all these encode sessions going, the sim might be glad of a little bit less stress on the GPU, so we'll see. Anyway, we're going to stop waffling on. We're going to do a couple of landings here at Gatwick, and then it's kind of up to you guys. Like, you know, just shout in the chat. We can always respawn somewhere else, and I can also demo FSiPanel because I feel like I've used FSiPanel a few times on stream, and every time I get questions kind of saying, what's this, what's this, what's this? Hey, we got our first chatter in the YouTube vertical stream. Captain Zeb, how you doing? Thank you for finding us. Hopefully it looks okay. It's the first time I've streamed this way. It's working vertical. Okay, Brian. As in instead of the actual stream, or as well as? Looking at my laptop, it looks like we've got both running, so that's hopefully cool. Do I use TAA or the NVIDIA version? I use TAA. Yeah, so I'm running 4K native with TAA and kind of a modified version of the Ultra settings. So, Captain Zemp on the vertical stream says, am I streaming on TikTok? No, not yet. Not yet. It'd be really nice if I could get a stream key for TikTok, because I think they want you to use their kind of app, which I'm not exactly in love with that idea, to be honest. Right, let's find FSiPanel. So those of you that haven't seen FSiPanel before, this is it. I thoroughly recommend you check this out, because with these study level airliners, you know, PMDGs, Fenixes, so on and so forth, the Unibuild's A300. The issue that we have is that it's actually quite a lot of work to get the plane into a position where it's configured for a landing properly. And of course what this does, it allows you to select where you want to go, so you could do like a downwind, a base, or a long or short final. Tell it where you want to be. It's detected we're at Gatwick, runway 26 left. We've selected our long final, which is to fix, and then we press move aircraft, and hopefully it will move us. I think I need to put my throttles into the climb gate.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
And we'll give it a minute. Right, what do I need to do? There we go, that's good. Excellent. . Sire, no, I can't do multiplayer tonight, unfortunately. If I do multiplayer, it's in the form of VATSIM, so people are welcome to fly along with VATSIM flights as they see fit. There we go. So it's saying to hold the brakes for 3 seconds, and the aircraft is ours. There we go. Okay, let's put on approach mode just to get us started. It's the best tool for learning simming. Yeah, you're not wrong, Brian. It absolutely is. Okay, my parking brake's still on. I won't be happy about that. So this is live weather, albeit for the purpose of visuals tonight. Oh, blimey. Sorry, Brian. That was my mistake. Sorry, I accidentally switched scene to OBS and didn't realise because I'm stupid. Should be all good now. Until I haven't streamed in a while, I'm out of practice. Flying Brit, how you doing? Thank you for joining us. Second chatter on the YouTube vertical stream. The only disadvantage to streaming to Twitch, streaming to YouTube vertical and streaming to YouTube normally is that I've kind of got 3 chat windows to manage. Is there an FSiPanel alternative? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. That's the issue that I had when I first got the Fenix. I was terrible in it. And, you know, you could argue I still am. But I felt that I would, like, spend so long doing a flight, I don't know, from, like, Alicante up to Gatwick. Obviously, you don't touch the controls most of the time because you're an autopilot and all of that. And actually, the opportunity in, like, number of minutes, the number of minutes you have to actually do the flying at this stage in the flight, over the course of a week, you might only get to do, like, 20 minutes if you're doing, like, 4 landings, 4 flights. So FSiPanel is a really good way just to chuck the plane back up, get it configured properly, and have another go. It'll really, really help me a lot. Alright, so I think it's almost time to take over. So I've got the recommended settings for my flight stick. Fenix put a knowledge base article out about that. So I forget what they are. I think it's like 20% this, 20% that, and some other stuff. So we will see what's what. Let's disconnect the autopilot. Here we go then. Very, very, very teeny tiny movements. He says, having just swung the plane to the right. Oh, I feel like I haven't flown in a while as well. That's the other thing. Life's been a bit busy, which is it's annoying because I have to kind of fit the channel in around a proper job and a real life and kids and everything. Not complaining, but sometimes it does feel like you haven't flown in a while and you definitely feel rusty. You really, really do. So we're just trying to get used to the IAE engines. I've really struggled to say AIE. 500. Or IAE. Feels like a mouthful. Right, we've just gone a little bit low, but not too bad. 2 reds, 2 whites. Let's carry this one home, shall we? Keep your nose down, otherwise you're going to be 3 whites before you know it. I can feel it's going to go. So, got a headwind of around 10 knots. So nothing too strenuous, although it's still Plenty for me to mess it up, I'm sure.
100.
Feels like we're going to be a bit high.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Well, down you go.
10. 5.
A little bit off centre there. Although those reverses, that sound definitely makes up for the poor quality landing, eh? Very nice. That wasn't bad for a first go. Not bad at all for a first go. So the cool thing is now what we can do, let's just... God, these rudder pedals, I need to sort out my rudder pedals. I feel like the settings are just completely wrong. Completely wrong. So if we load up FSiPanel and go to landing report... Oh, blimey, what's going on here? Okay, so... Not brilliant. Satisfactory landing distance. Touchdown rate 295, which is okay, but we deviated from the centre line. 30 foot? Surely not 30 foot. Come off it. Come off it. I'm sure I've had this before at Gatwick, where it says, like, you deviated too far from the line, but actually it's... Even if you bang on, it still says you're off. Alright, let's give it another go. Let's do... Should we do short final? See what short final does for us. Okay, leave us back into climb. Hey JJ.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
What do I use on FPS boost? What exactly do you mean by that, JJ? FPS boost. Krazza, frame gen I've turned off for today, just because I'm being a little bit conservative, because we're doing multi-streaming. We're doing 4K to YouTube, 1080p vertical to YouTube Shorts, which you can now stream live to, and I'm also doing a 1080p to Twitch, so I wanted to leave as much on the table for my GPU as possible. So far, we're doing alright. What I might do next is turn on frame gen and see if that is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Okay, so we can see what FSiPanel is doing. It's getting us at 1200 feet. And now it's levelling us out. So I guess at the point that we intercept the glide slope. There we go, now we can take over. Hold the brakes. Press the approach mode. Hey Cube, you alright? Anyone got any requests for where we land next? Obviously we don't have to spend the whole time at Gatwick. How's my game smooth? I'm only running at 30 FPS, JJ. So I've got vertical sync on, 30 FPS. That really is about it. Alright, here we go. Come on then. This definitely feels weird compared to what I've become used to with the Fenix. Obviously I've gotten used to the CFM engines, I've gotten used to different joystick settings. It can take a minute to get used to it, so... And that's not me making excuses for me, I mean it kind of is, but it's also to let you know, really, that you can expect it to feel a bit weird for the first little while if you switch to the latest version of Fenix to Block 2.
500.
Ooh. here we go. Tiny crab on the go, nothing much. Let's hold that 3-degree glide path as best we can. Oh, come on, nose down. You're going to float, you're going to float, you're going to float. Yep, 3 whites. Ah! Why does it do that? Come on, get that nose down.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Go on. That was only just within the touchdown zone, but that did feel nice and smooth. That wasn't bad. Not bad. Let's look at the landing report. I'm just conscious, actually, that those of you that are on the YouTube vertical can't actually see what FSiPanel is showing when I go into it afterwards. Okay, so 14 foot to the right was our centerline deviation. Yeah, just within limits, but 131 foot. So, you know, that's not bad. Let's do one more. LQSA. What's LQSA, Cube? Do I have any software to recommend? Depends what you're after, really. Depends what you're after, whether you're thinking planes or add-ons or otherwise, or scenery.
2,500.
Razza says you find 30 FPS is smooth enough for the flight sim. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what you're seeing here is 30. Would I take 60? Hell yeah. Even with my 5800X3D 4080 Super, without frame gen, you can't get 60 reliably. The Auto FPS app. Speaking of, what software would I recommend?
Flight slow. Flight slow.
Auto FPS has been very cool.
Flight slow.
I don't know if you saw the video on that. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But that was
slow.
a pretty impressive bit of kit. Genuinely quite impressed by that. So the idea is that when you're coming into land, it will lower the terrain level of detail, because as you get lower, you actually see less. Because obviously you're not up high, you can't see as far. Therefore, the terrain level of detail matters less. Alright, what's going on here then? Not sure I trust these flight directors. Not sure I trust them at all, because they would have me flying level at the moment. Maybe approach mode would help. Is that going to recalibrate them? Yeah, there we go.
$500.
Here we go then. Too low. Feels like we need to go a little bit over to the left as well. Not by much. Keep that nose down. Keep that nose down.
One hundred. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Go on.
5.
You really, really don't need to flare much in this. Yeah, you really don't need to flare much in this. At all. Right, what's chat been saying? Sorry, I was ignoring you there for a bit. Krazza, you got a 4070 Ti, 7800 X3D, and find a cap at 60 with frame gen does you well. Yeah, that's the thing. So the issue I've got, Krazza, is that I'm on a 60 Hz TV, which kind of links into what JJ's saying in the vertical chat. What monitor do I recommend? I'm playing on a 43-inch LG TV, quite a cheap one, well, cheapish. I think about 300 quid. Just a 60 Hz 4K panel, nothing too fancy, and the problem with that is I have to lock it to either 60 or 30 or I get horrific tearing. So even if I were to enable frame gen now with vertical sync enabled, the sim would actually be outputting 30 FPS and frame gen would double it to 60, so it'd be kind of 50% fake frames. I think really what would be nice is if I had a panel that had, what's it called? Variable refresh rate. So that'd probably be the next thing in an ideal world. Brian, did you ever learn any more about that Samsung monitor? Because that thing looked incredible. But yeah, I think native 4K 60, no funny business with frame gen. That's certainly the dream, isn't it? And I think you're probably closer to that than I am, Krazza, with a 7800 X3D. Definitely. Matt says, I really like the channel. I've got no experience of any flight simulator, just like planes and watching YouTube. Keep the content coming. I'll do my best. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Hey Green, what pedals do I fly with? I have the Logitech, I don't know what they're called, just Logitech Rudder Pedals. There's a link in the video description. There should be a link to it, like an Amazon link. An affiliate link. I think it's the ones that used to have, they used to be made by Satec, or Cytec, however you say it. And then I think Logitech bought them out. And, yeah, no, it's the same thing, it's just got Logitech written on it. It's the best I could find. Obviously, I didn't buy all the other ones, but looking at reviews at the time, they seem to be like the best ones I could find for a reasonable amount of money. Obviously there's those Thrustmaster ones that are like $400-500. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would love those, but I would struggle to write a check for that amount at this point in time for pedals. I do think I need to look at some sensitivity settings though, Green, because I feel like it's a constant. Like now I'm doing very, very small movements, and I don't know if any of you have seen it yet. Maybe after the stream check it out. I did my first flight in the Builds A300 from here, in fact, from Gatwick to Edinburgh, and that was one of the things I noticed, was that the rudder pedals felt really, really twitchy when I was doing the ground steering with them. So I think maybe what I might do as the next thing is try and find some sort of hardware-based tiller. I mean, I guess I could even just use the twist axis on my side stick for that, to do the nose wheel steering on the ground. Because of course in a real plane, or in the real plane, you wouldn't use these pedals down here to, you know, like I am here, that you don't steer like that. You actually use this thingy in here. And that's how you steer the nose wheel. So when you're on the ground, you steer with this, and I think it's above, I forget how many knots it is. if anyone knows. Maybe 50 knots, 80 knots, whatever the knots is. There's a certain amount of knots on the runway that you no longer use this to like do minor adjustments, and then you switch to do pedals, which works the obviously works the tail fin rudder. And obviously when you're going at speed, aerodynamically that then has an effect. But when you're just taxiing around like we are now on the ground, that rudder would do basically nothing. Oh, nice one, Green. You asked Under Control what he used. Click the link and it's those £400 ones. Yeah, those are the Thrustmaster ones, I think, aren't they? They're really nice. Evening, beds. Kraza, is the Fenix more intensive than the PMDG? I don't know. I can't say I've noticed a huge amount of difference between the two, to be quite honest. I know there's been an update today which apparently addresses performance a little bit on the Fenix as well, so there's that element to it too. No way, Brian, the TV's coming tomorrow. Well, it's not really a TV, is it? It's a monitor thing. That's amazing. That is... Oh, you'll have to let me know how that goes. Hello, Tim. Here we go. Over 80 knots gives you rudder authority. Before this, you get 7-degree nose wheel deflection through the pedals. I didn't know that. So the pedals do give you a little tiny bit on the wheel, do they? That's cool. How do I make my affiliate link? So you have to be an Amazon affiliate partner. You have to sign up for that, then you can do it. How do I review landings? So you can use things like Flight Recorder. That's a free app. You can find it on flightsim.to. That's what I use. Then, yeah, you can just play back your landings, see what you did wrong, see what you did right. It's quite handy. Quite handy indeed. Just 7 degrees. Yeah, so actually 7 isn't that much, is it? That is. But then I suppose with all that thrust going through the engines, you really don't want... That would be a lot of pressure on a wheel that's twisted, wouldn't it? There we go. Catty says, how do you reverse thrust? So on these levers here, they've got two little kind of things that you pull up. You sort of pull them up and then they slide back. And you should hear it. There they go. And we should actually reverse. Gotta be careful you don't do a wheelie though when you come to a stop. Right, should we do one more at Gatwick? And then we'll go somewhere else. Well, so far the stream seems to be holding up, which is nice. I am pleased about that. Sorry this isn't like a normal flight. I would normally prefer to do like a proper like VATSIM based flight where we go from point A to point B and try to do the whole thing. But I've just got this nagging feeling that it was all going to go wrong with my encoders and stuff like it did last time. But I spent the morning fiddling with OBS settings, which I can tell you it's not fun, but it was necessary in this case because it really didn't go well for us last time. About 2 minutes into the stream, I was getting messages from people being like, your stream's like a slideshow, what's gone wrong? I was like, I don't know what's gone wrong, I can't fix it. It doesn't matter what I press, it's just broken. Alright, let's get FSiPanel up again. And let's do a long final this time. I need to adjust the what you guys on the YouTube shorts are seeing because I think you're getting a game capture rather than a display capture,
Terrain
so when
ahead.
I load other apps,
Pull up.
you can't see those, you just still see the game. Paul, good evening. Yes, there is a 16:9 aspect ratio stream. You're watching, I presume, because you've been scrolling through YouTube Shorts or Verticals. If you tap into the channel, you will see there's a 16:9 version. That's like the main. That's like the mainstream, if you see what I mean. So this is the first time I've actually streamed to YouTube Vertical. I did try it a couple of weeks ago, but I ended up streaming, I think 16:9 to both or something, and then YouTube freaked out on the back end and killed one of them, so it didn't go well.
2,500.
Oh, the short version got pushed to your home screen. That's weird. Wonder why it did that. So Green, I think the reason why the latency is higher on the 16:9 version is that I'm running 4K on the 16:9. And I think that inherently has a lot more latency than a 1080p vertical stream. I think that's what it is. Not sure. Interesting what Paul says though about how the vertical stream got pushed to him, not the 16:9 through his home screen. Only thing I can think of is that when you make two streams, you make one, then you make another. Maybe I need to sort of flip which one is the vertical. Maybe that's what it is. No stutters so far, says Brian. That's good. How much was my setup? Just like an estimate? Oh, God. So, let's think. So I'm in a garden shed, for one thing. I converted it during like one of the COVID lockdowns. So I had to like insulate it, put like plasterboard or drywall, I think Americans call it. So it's it's a shed, but when you go inside, it's like you're in a room in a house. You wouldn't know any different, carpets or that sort of stuff. I think that was probably like 600 quid to do all that. Then my yoke was 300, the stick was 50. This altogether was probably 180. I don't know, my PC was... Oh, my PC's always been upgraded, so it's hard to know, but... Probably... I don't know, probably 2.5 grand, all of it. Roughly. But like, that wasn't just writing a check for 2.5 grand and it just appeared. It was like... I originally started out just with this stick. So, you know... It's one of those where you just gradually build it up over time, and then all of a sudden you add it all up like 3 years later and you're like, oh my goodness. So we're in the Fenix A320 is the plane we're in, version 2 block 2, and we're in the variant with the IAE engines. So that's the engines that came with the latest update. So Paul, we're not actually doing a full flight tonight. We are we're just doing some landing practice with I don't know if you've heard of it, a program called FSiPanel. So that allows us to take these study level airliners and just chuck them, 4-8 miles back on a final. The app configures them perfectly for approach as if we'd done it ourselves, kind of during a full flight without having to do the full flight, if that makes sense. Very cool piece of software. I'd recommend you all try it. Alright. Let's disconnect the old autopilot. And let's bring it home. No worries, Paul. See you in a bit, mate.
1,000.
Hopefully the next time we go live it'll be for a proper flight. This is... I appreciate you all coming along, helping me test this out. This has been really cool. Twitch is, as expected, it's dead as a doornail. Can't seem to get any life out of Twitch. Like, I'm streaming to Twitch, but it seems like it's quite hard to move the needle. So I feel like I'm getting there a little bit now with the stick feeling. It definitely feels a lot different to how it used to feel on the Block 1 update in Fenix. So this is definitely a lot different. Cool, we need to get over to the left, don't we? Come on, over you go. Hands on the throttles, come on. Stop getting distracted looking at chat. Well, this wind's causing me a bit of a problem this time. Come on, over to the left, nose down. Pay attention. Okay, nose down, otherwise we're going to go 3 whites. 3 whites any second. There they are. Come on. This is going to be a late one.
100.
Yeah, it should be 50 there, not 100.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Oh, no, thank you. That was not good. That was a proper kick of the tail there. That was a proper kick of the tail. Right, we need one more go at that. We'll do a short final. Felt like I struggled with that one. Okay, put my levers into climb.
Terrain ahead.
Then it chucks you straight
up.
back up. Bed says try IVAO rather than VATSIM. What makes you say that, Beds?
$2,500.
Do I have any add-on payware airports in the sim? So I've got. So I bought Dublin. I bought Manchester. I bought. What else did I buy? Bristol.
Light slope. Light slope.
Yes, glide slope. Edinburgh. I bought Edinburgh. I've also been very, very fortunate that Orbex reached out not so very long ago, and they offered me to kind of do some previews of their some of their upcoming airports, which has been really good fun. So that's meant I've gotten a few airports that way. A few Australian ones: Gold Coast, Gladstone, Melbourne. I would like to get some of IndyBuild stuff under my belt. Possibly Ibiza, possibly Leeds Bradford, possibly Heathrow and JFK. Although I don't really get out to America much, perhaps maybe I should. Here we go. Right, nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down. It's a cheeky little wind at Gatwick tonight. Definitely feels like it's causing me more problems than I anticipated that it would. Yeah, we're definitely fighting it. Definitely leaning over to the left, aren't we? Trying to keep that crab going. Okay, 3 reds on the Pappies, but honestly, given how we keep coming in high, and I do in general question the Pappies on Flight Sim, I might just run with 3 reds. hope that it doesn't turn into 4. Auto land? I don't want no auto land. Get out. I'm flying manually. What are you doing? Okay, that's annoying. That's
100.
distracted me at the last minute.
Forty, 30, 20, retard.
Go on. Go on. Go on.
5,
Blimey, that was only just in the touchdown zone, wasn't it? Reversers. Hey, Tom. Nice to see you. Hey, Tricky. Tricky, we're doing multi-streaming tonight. We're streaming to vertical and 16:9, so there's both streams. I don't know why it's pushing 16:9 to you on the PC. That's a bit weird. It might be that I need to invert the order of the streams. So we're just testing. We're just testing. So we're not doing a proper flight tonight, Tricky. I don't know if how closely you've been following the goings-on, but I've had massive internet issues. I've been assured that it's all fixed, and I've also had OBS issues with encoders, so I've got new encoder settings. The internet is allegedly fixed, so tonight is a bit of a test, really. See if I can stream vertical to YouTube, horizontal to YouTube in 4K, and also a 1080p stream to Twitch. So not really a proper flight, but this does seem to be going quite well, so with a bit of luck, normal service can resume. Graphic spec of my PC is 5800X3D with a 4080 Super. Right, let me catch up with a normal chat. I seem to love Bristol. Yeah, I love Bristol. Bristol and Gatwick I kind of feel like are my spiritual homes. Don't know why. What's Tim saying? Don't know what you think, but this patch, I think they've made the flare a lot more forgiving. It was way more real to me in the one before. Oh, okay. It's hard for me to say whether it's more realistic or not, Tim, because I've obviously never flown the real one. That's the thing. Bed says I've been controlling IVAO for the last few months. I can now control approach on certain airports. Generally, based on my experience, I find as ATCM pilot, you'd rather have IVAO. Training is thrown at you from within the first 3 seconds of signing up as ATC. Gatwick is seriously demanding, isn't it? This freeware version especially. Beds, I think those sensitivities you sent are now out of date, because that was in the context of the Block 1, and since Block 2's come out, Fenix have upgraded their knowledge base and given new preferred settings, so I'm running those at the moment. Right, where shall we go? Where shall we go? I heard someone say Leeds Bradford. That might not be the worst idea. Let's jump out to the menu. Get some more practice in, because we need it. There's no question about it. We need it. Interesting to see what the response is on the new video I've put out tonight. First flight in the A300. It's a different style of video. It is kind of like a stream, but it's a video, and I've chopped out loads of the kind of boring idle time. So I don't know how that's going to be received. Hopefully well. There we go. Right, let's find somewhere. Let's do Leeds Bradford, but where is it? Where's Leeds? York, Leeds, Bradford. There we go. I know what I'm doing. Let's do runway 14, set as departure, and then we'll figure the rest out. Saba. We ain't doing Saba. Yeah, it's fair enough, Brian, if you prefer live. I've got to be careful that I don't just do live. That's what I'm very, very conscious of. If I look at my analytics for the channel, it is absolutely harrowing, the difference between a video and a live stream. I'll leave the sensitivity for tonight, Beds. I'm trying to get used to these settings, the recommended ones from Fenix. Right, let's hop in here. Obviously, it's nighttime. For the purpose of visuals, we'll change the weather, or the time, rather. So we've still got live weather, but we can see what we're doing. So, this is actually a good opportunity to show you kind of what my workflow is with FSiPanel. I'll spawn at a runway. Obviously, the plane is in a cold and dark state. If we use the EFB, come down to panel states, ready, activate, the plane will then come to life. Because obviously the plane does need to be on to some degree for FSiPanel to interface with it and do its thing. Good. Ah, blimey, what's the code for Leeds? It's going to be EG... What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? I feel like I know what it's going to be. It's not NX, is it? Is it NX? No, that's East Midlands. EG... I'm going to have to Google it. EGNM, that's what it is. Select airport. Now we select our runway and also pay attention to this wind component over here. Cheers, Beds and George. So, runway 14, we've got a headwind of 1 knot, crosswind of 10, tailwind of 1 on 32. So, I know it's only 1 knot, but we'll go for 14. And we'll go for a long final. Move the aircraft. I'm thinking we'll do a stream to roads next.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Only because we'll be going there in real life soon, and you know, it's the rules. If you go in there in real life, you've got to do the flight on flight sim. Those are the rules. Well, that is quite a bit of a wind, isn't it? Yeah, Pilot Plus Bristol is good. It's the runway at Bristol that I find fascinating. It's just, honestly, it's like a skateboard park. It's so like lumpy bumpy, which amazes me that that's
2,500.
even allowed to be a thing. I kind of feel like if I was the builder that was building Bristol Airport, and I go, here you go guys, it's finished, I would fully expect them to be like, what on earth are you playing at? There's a massive lump in the runway. Like, yeah, that'd be fine, don't worry. There's only planes landing on it. $90 million jets. No problem at all there. Don't worry about it. Surely job number one is get a bulldozer out, get a theodolite, and make sure it is absolutely as smooth as a duck pond. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that just seems odd. Okay, let's get approach mode on. Check out the livery. Can't tell you what a pain that was to make. That really was a massive pain. Wow, it is windy up at Leeds. Okay, no visual yet. It feels like we've got a very big crab on, if you look at the way the land is moving underneath us. This would be a good challenge. King Bob! Long time. Yeah, we did make our own livery. A lot of swearing. A lot of stomping off from the PC. Swearing I was never going to touch it again. Honestly, like, it just amazes me, like, when a new plane comes out, how FlightSim.to is just full, almost instantly, of these amazing liveries. And then there's me, just like, can barely get one made. Whoa, that is a crab and a half. Flipping heck. Goodness me. Alright, well I guess at this point I should disconnect autopilot and mess it up. Everybody ready? Feels like we're a bit too far to the right. I could be wrong though. Alright, here we go. Yeah, we definitely need to get like the INI builds or the Orbex version of this because it's such a gorgeous approach. Almost feels a bit of a crime to only have a default airport at the end of it. So we're going to need left rudder input on touchdown. Just straighten that crab out. Because that is quite a serious crab we've got going on at the moment. Nose down, come on. Come on. Don't mess it up, you've got people watching. Paid good money for this. Well, actually, no, they haven't.
100. 50. 40. 30.
Oh, hell no.
20. Retard. 10. 5.
Oh, all the reversers out too early. Goodness me, that was rough. Alright, we need another go at that. Okay, take two. Let's do a short final this time. Oh man, that was rough. That was rough. It's okay, because we're practicing tonight on FSiPanel, and we can have as many goes as we want. See, now it's setting us up again for another go. When crabbing, you aren't using the rudder until trying to get back on the centre line at touchdown. Yeah, so you kind of steer the plane with the joystick, side stick, sorry I should say, to fly yourself into the wind such that you're pointing the wrong way, but your course, the way that you're moving over the ground, is in line with the runway. Then, sort of, I think it's about 20 feet-ish, you kind of use the rudder pedals to... What is going on here? Why am I falling into the ground? FSiPanel, what are you doing? FSiPanel. What are you doing? Seems to have put us into a hold. Okay, this wasn't what should have happened. Alright, let's just take control. I honestly don't know why it decided to do that. I wonder if we can rescue this. Let's bring us out and we'll try and turn around. That's unusual for it to bug like that. It occasionally does. Okay, let's just spin it round, shall we? Yeah, I don't know what causes it, Brian. Sometimes I think maybe it's me that's messed up or something, like I've pressed something, but I definitely didn't press anything then. One of those things, maybe. Alright, so we're going to get ourselves roughly in line with the runway. Whee!
1,000.
Hopefully we can recover this situation. What happens now if I press the approach mode? Thank you, Bob. I must admit, you seem to have more faith in me than I currently have in myself, but that's fine. I appreciate you. Hey, Shell, how's it going? Seatbelts on. Tray table's up. It doesn't reset correctly, okay. Alright, so there's the runway down there. You can see the plane is chasing the glide slope. Hopefully it's going to start turning to the right. Nope. It's really not, is it? Okay. No more approach mode. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Right, if I can nail this, I think this is going to go down as, like, probably my best landing of my life.
1,000.
Goodness gracious. Wind turbine feels a little bit close for comfort, I'm not going to lie. Is that there in real life? Right, let's see if we can just level ourselves out for a moment. Just get that glide slope back. Here we go, nose down, nose down, nose down, nose down. Nose down, nose down. Definitely got to keep that nose pressure down. Very easy to let it slip away from you.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5.
Okay, that was very, very smooth. Maybe a little bit too smooth for the circumstances. I should have planted that a little bit heavier, I think. But we are down, so I'll take it. I will take it. There we go. Pilot's allowed to listen to music? I don't think so. I very much doubt it. What does the eye tracker do? The eye tracker, I don't actually have it plugged in at the moment. What it does, it tracks your eyes and your head movement. So if I was on the ground now, I could sort of look around the cockpit sort of like this with my eyes. Very cool. But my kid, annoyingly, has nicked my USB extension cable for his sim racing endeavours, and I need to order a new one, and I keep forgetting because I'm lazy. Basically. That wasn't so bad, that though. I'll take that. Let's try one more here, and then we'll move on. I'm good for about another half hour, so I can maybe take a couple of requests if anyone's got a sensible airport they want me to land at.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
So Charlotte, we're doing ILS, but I'm actually doing the flying, if you see what I mean. So I'm following the indicators that the ILS system gives me, but yeah, I'm not doing an auto land or anything like that. Is that Madeira, Brian? I'm unsure what to do with Madeira, and I'm unsure whether FSiPanel can bring us in like with a proper little flight plan and everything. I've never really landed there before. Give it a go if you like, but
2,500.
it certainly won't be an example of how you should do it, I can promise you that. Alright. Plane is now configured. And the plane is ours. So I'm just enabling the approach button just over there. So the plane is now flying itself to catch the centre line. Localizer, I should say. Then we've got the glide slope up here, so the plane is going to keep them both on these yellow lines. And we'll let it do that until we get a visual. Cheers, Krasy. Appreciate it. It's been a long time in the making. Bit by bit by bit by bit. What is it they say? Rome wasn't built in a day, and I think that's pretty much what's going on here as well. A lot of people get quite angry at me because I've got a Boeing yoke with the Airbus throttles, but honestly at this point I wouldn't have it any other way, because all of their comments going mad about it just increases my reach because it counts as engagement, so I don't think they realise they're helping me, but that's fine by me. I was thinking I might get a 3D printer, because you can buy, or not buy, you can 3D print yourself some little inserts to go in here. And then you can replace the lever with one that you 3D print yourself, that if you install a little spring in it, you can kind of have it like Boeing style, where you sort of pull it up and pull it back down into like little gates. That might be the play. Alright, there's that crab again. Look at that wind. Whoa, that is a bang on crosswind, isn't it? 25 knots. What does the circle things do? next to thrust. You mean these things? Like the black and white things? Oh, time for me to take over. We'll talk about it on the ground. Here we go then. It is an amazing approach, this, isn't it? Like the way the land sort of undulates underneath you. Let's just try and re-establish that crap.
500.
Wasn't we a touch low? Just keep it coming like this. ILS seems happy, Pappies don't seem happy, so if I had to believe one or the other, it would probably be the ILS system and not the Pappies, because I think the Pappies certainly have their own reputation in this game for not being the greatest. I hope that's one of the things they fix in 24. Nose down, come on. Obviously the nearer you get, the more...
100.
See, I wouldn't really worry too much at this point.
50,
They're red.
40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Yeah, I'll have some of that. Especially in a wind. Blimey, what was the brakes doing there? That was like emergency stop. Yeah, the black and white thing, so that's the trim wheels. So, the easiest way to explain it is to look outside. On the elevator here at the back. So these can actually move. You see there's almost a little area there where it can sort of pitch up and down. So the Airbus automatically does all that for you during flight, which can be really good, but it can also be really annoying because sometimes it will go the opposite way to what you want it to do in that moment. But it allows you to trim the aircraft in order that it can, you can maintain kind of the, I'm struggling to explain it. Basically, the faster you go, the more the plane wants to sort of pitch upwards, and then the trim can correct that so that you can maintain speed and not have to be sort of fighting with the controls constantly. I'm explaining this really badly. If anyone else wants to jump in, that'd be great. Hey Bob, there's nothing wrong with 300 feet per minute, man. That's respectable. I would say anywhere in the 2s or the 3s, I'm perfectly happy with that. I think this obsession with feet per minute is a disease that's infected the flight sim community. I really do, because take a real flight. I guarantee you they're not hitting those numbers all the time. In fact, I know they're not on the flights I've been on, blimey. I think it's this weird obsession, and even the simulator's ability to register that, I mean, it's just a moment in time. I don't think it's indicative of the entire landing experience. I think it's quite a short-sighted way to be measuring your landings. So I'd encourage you to maybe not go too nuts on obsessing over that stuff. I used to, when I first started the channel. Like, all I cared about was feet per minute. And it was, in the end, it became almost to the detriment of everything else I was doing. Yeah, Charlotte, I don't know what was going on with those brakes there. Maybe we had auto brakes on max or something, and obviously when I put the reversers on. Yeah, that was a bit nuts. What have we got in the vertical chat? Simo, nice to see you. What do we got? I see you're playing with the Airbus setup. I want to buy it as well, so I want to ask you, how do you like it? How does it feel? Are there any cons? The only con I would say is with the side stick. mine has developed a fault whereby the twist input that you do sort of your rudder steering with, the sensor within the stick for that has gone a bit wonky, so it gives like spurious input. So I've disabled it so the sim doesn't register it, but if I did, we'd be sort of twitching all over the place like on the runway. Quite a common issue with this stick apparently, or at least the early ones that I bought. There is a way to fix it, so I'm told. You have to take the stick to bits and it's like a little sensor in there, you just sort of clean it I think. So I might have to look into that. Some people get really annoyed with me because I use the Airbus throttles with a Boeing yoke, but honestly I think this is such a good quality system. Like all the levers, they feel absolutely like bang on, and there's no flimsiness, there's no wonkiness, and it's a really good go-between despite it being blue and it looks like an Airbus thing and all of that. It really does perform well when you use it with a Boeing as well. So I would say this probably works better with a Boeing versus the Boeing one works with an Airbus. I kind of feel that Boeing throttle that they paired with this yoke, I kind of feel like that was not up to standard when you compare and contrast with the yoke, which is an absolute screamer of a product. Brilliant product. That throttle that came with it, even at a conceptual level, the way it came with like 3 inputs instead of 4. So you can have 2 thrust levers and speed brakes or the flaps, so you have to configure it. It's like, why don't you just give it 4? Because then you have to end up buying 2 and then linking them together, and that's just like, don't do that. Yay, Ben's here. How you doing, Ben? Sorry about the lack of streams lately, Ben. My internet's been causing me no end of problems, but apparently it's fixed now. So we will be back. Where can I download the livery? My website, airnot.co.uk. Follow the link to the livery section, you'll see them all there. In the next day or so there is going to be an A300 freighter livery as well, so that'll be there soon. No worries, Ben. Have a good day, mate. See you later. Quick question, how are you practicing landings back to back? So that's a good question. We're using a piece of software called FSiPanel, and what that does, it's very, very handy for study level airliners like the PMDGs, like the Fenix, and it configures the airliner such that it can just put you 4-8 miles back on a final, and you can just do a landing as if the aircraft is properly configured. I'm conscious actually that I've messed up a little bit on the vertical stream that you're watching, because I'm actually bringing up FSiPanel on the screen, and those watching the 16:9 stream can see it, but you can't because you're getting a game capture rather than a display capture. Basically I've messed up, and on the next stream hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit more of what I'm doing. But FSiPanel, check it out. I've got a video on the channel all about it. Absolutely brilliant. Like I say, I really, really struggled with the Fenix when it first came out. It was a really tough aircraft to come to. We'd spent so long in the fly-by-wire A32NX, so that's the A320 Neo, and I'd gotten so used to it, and then I downloaded the Fenix, and I thought, oh, this would be really great. Download the Fenix, should be pretty good at it, because we'd gotten good at the fly-by-wire, and I was trash. Absolutely trash. Felt completely different. So that was when I bought FSiPanel, because it just allowed me to do sort of back-to-back landings, like practice and practice and practice and practice. Because otherwise it was just going to be a nightmare, because I'd be doing all these streams where you're actually you might be in cruise for like 2 hours, and then you come to land and then you just mess it up. Can I fly fighter jets? No, I cannot. Wouldn't know where to start with those. And it's not really kind of what I'm interested in. It's more the passenger jets that I find interesting. Shall we fly together? I'm not flying with anyone at the moment, I'm afraid. I'm offline, although I do VATSIM streams, so if you're on VATSIM and you're able to VATSIM, you're more than welcome to join those. Right. Where can I submit artwork of your plane livery? What do you mean? Submit what exactly? The liveries are available to download if you want to fly with them. That's kind of as far as it goes, really. Okie dokie. Let's do one more landing. Now, where can we go? There's training scenarios, isn't there? What's that all about? Do that. Not gonna do that. Let's do. Shall we do? I'm trying to think what I've got scenery for. That might be cool. Let's do Dublin. What do we got? Headwind 8, crosswind 10. Let's go runway 16. One final. Jacob, we're not on multiplayer at the moment. We are just flying on our own with FSiPanel to practice our landings. So obviously we've just jumped the plane to somewhere completely different, so it's going to need a minute to calm itself. Obviously load in all the scenery. Catty, I still don't really know how to answer your question, I'm afraid. The way I look at it is the liveries are there, they're available for people to use. That's kind of it, really.
2,500.
Okay, our brakes are hot, but never mind that. Alright, hold the brakes for 3 seconds. Then we take control of the aircraft. So it's properly configured now as if we'd done it ourselves. Turn on the approach mode. And then the plane should... yeah, there it goes. Crikey, what's going on here? What's it doing? Goodness gracious me. Okay, that was not what I intended. Okay, I see what it's doing. Trying to straighten us up. That's quite a wind. That is quite a wind. So, nope, I don't really do a lot of cargo ops at the moment, but we've got the A300 for mini builds, and I've got a livery for it, a dedicated cargo livery. That'll be on the site in the next day or two, either today, tonight, or tomorrow, I'd have thought. And at that point, we will start to do a lot more cargo ops, because it's definitely something I want to do more of. Equally, when we get the 777 from PMDG, I can imagine us doing quite a lot of cargo ops in that, because passenger ops is like, you know, super long haul stuff. I don't have the time for long haul. I don't know how people do long haul. It bores me to tears. But sort of 2-3 hour-ish hops from place to place on stream, on VATSIM. That's nice. I can do that. And there's a lot of cargo routes that 777-200s are used for as freighters that fall right within that range. So we're gonna go and try. We'll try some of that, and I can't wait for that plane. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, I really hope that this wind dies down. Shall I take over? See if we can bring it down from here. Good gravy. So I always find when the wind is this strong, it almost looks like you're, even though you're crabbing correctly, it almost feels like it's not quite right. But it actually sort of is. It feels like we're going way too low. Do we have any pappies? Oh yeah, I can just make them out now. Feels like it's been an evening of crosswinds, which isn't the worst thing, all things considered. Alright, let's get that nose down. Saying we're high, but it feels like we're low, visually. Go on,
100.
Let's be having you.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Alright. Now, I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, that one's going on YouTube Shorts for sure. For sure. Not bad that. I don't know why the plane is stopping so abruptly. Alright, let's give it one more go. I've got time for one more, then I have to go. Fly a Blackbird. Yeah, the Blackbird, those sort of planes aren't really what I'm super into, I've got to be honest.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Alright, we'll just wait for the plane to configure.
1,500.
Alright, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Last one of the night. Let's, what on earth is it doing now? Yeah, now you're going to have to go left, aren't you? Yep, there it goes. I think the plane's not quite happy with that. Hey, Wald, how you doing? We're fighting with the wind. Good. So we seem to be pretty much established. That is one heck of a window. Look at that. All right. Dare I disconnect? Alright, Kenny, how's it going? That is a mighty crab, isn't it, that we're doing at the moment? It's a mighty, mighty crab. So the way it was explained to me was that if you see the runway over here, imagine the centre line extends out, and you're just trying to imagine that line, and you're trying to get the plane to almost track across it. Oops, gone low. Having just taken a moment there to distract myself and explain that. Okay. Well, so far it's been a relatively successful night. Lots of good landings. Well, I say good landings. Lots of good opportunities to practice our landings. They haven't all been spot on, but
1,000.
that's the way of it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The day that I can just rock up and plant these planes down like they're like I'm some kind of robot is the day I get bored and probably turn it off. The joy is definitely in the learning. Feels like we're doing pretty good at the moment. We've gone a little bit high, only a touch. Wind is starting to die down a little bit. We'll do well to beat the landing we did last time, though. I really do think we'll do well to beat that. Okay, nose down. Come on. Definitely fighting this wind a bit more this time. I feel like I'm not as stable, maybe. Okay, 2 reds, 2 whites. That's going to very quickly turn into 3 reds, isn't it, if we're not careful? Whee! So this is probably go-around territory, really. That little wobble there. Nose down.
Light slow.
40, 30, 20, retard. 10,
Oh no, I floated it. Floated it.
5,
Yeah, that wasn't as good, was it? That was not as good. But that's alright. That's alright. Very good. Right, I'm going to have to leave it there. It's almost 9 o'clock. My time is up. But thank you to everyone for coming along tonight. It's been really cool to test out everything that's been going on. Obviously, we've been streaming 4K 16:9 to YouTube. We're also streaming to YouTube verticals for the first time. So that's cool. And for those of you that are on Twitch, we are also on Twitch. And we've been streaming to Twitch the whole time, and nobody has said a word on Twitch. So I think we've been basically streaming to probably like 1 viewer, and that 1 viewer is me on my phone or something. But that's okay. Yeah, it's been really cool. It seems to have gone well. I was worried that my GPU was going to crumble under the pressure of all the streams going on and running the sim and all that stuff. So looks promising, what with all the new OBS settings I was messing around with this morning. So hopefully get subbed if you're not, and you can join us for some proper flights on VATSIM that we'll do on stream. And yeah, looking good. So that's really good. Good result tonight. I'm pleased with that. So thank you all very much indeed. Hope you all have a nice evening. Take the very best care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.